everybody, welcome back to my F1 Fantasy Career Mode series. I'd just like to take a quick moment to thank you all for the support that I received on the first round at Suzuka. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It was a pretty interesting season opener, to say the very least. Today is round 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix, so it's going to be interesting to see how we get on in this race. You know, it's not going to be any chance of rain like was at Suzuka, and as you can see by the pit stop strategy on screen, the tyre wear is going to be absolutely atrocious. So we're going to have to try figure a way around that. A 4 stop seems a bit much. Hopefully we'll be able to switch things around and make it a bit less damaging on our strategy, but we'll have to wait and see. Qualifying was another interesting one. No rain in qualifying this time to spice up the grid a bit, but nevertheless it was still a pretty good session. So let's head over to the qualifying report now and see how things got on. So as it was time for the qualifying duel under the desert lights, it was Nico Rosberg who was able to just edge out Fernando Alonso for a second time in 2 races, only just not even half a second separating the top 2, and then half a second down to Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. Next, by just over a tenth of a second, Max Verstappen out-qualifies Daniel Ricciardo to take 4th and 5th on the grid for Red Bull. Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen again having another miserable session for the Scuderia, being stuck all the way down in 6th and 8th, being separated by the rookie Alex Lynn. Stoffel Van Dorn once again massively off the pace of his teammate, but manages to out-qualify Valtteri Bottas and Carlos Sainz, who for the first time this season out-qualifies his rookie teammate of Pierre Gasly. So as we move on to the second page, it was another British rookie in Toby Byrne who manages to out-qualify Nico Hülkenberg by 0.2 of a second, who only just manages to out-qualify his teammate by not even half a tenth of a second. Marcus Ericsson was 0.3 of a second off his teammate, but managed to beat out both the Renaults, who are still showing qualifying struggling woes, which should be improved later in the season. Hopefully for them. Alongside them is Manor and the Haas, again way off the pace, but all 3 teams in Renault, Manor and Haas have promised upgrades for round 4 at the Spanish Grand Prix. So there is your grid for the qualifying results and for your race then. So speaking of race, let's get things started for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We're starting all the way down in P13, not our best qualifying, but we're looking to improve that in future races. But right now we've got to focus entirely on the start, and here are the 5 red lights, and they've gone out, and here we go then. Pierre Gasly gets a decent start, and Nico Hülkenberg to the right of us has got an absolutely phenomenal start. He's jumped both me and Gasly, and looks like he might be able to jump Sainz and Bottas into turn 1 as well. Unable to do so, but there's a lot of front wings being broken, as you can hear. Alex Lynn, the guy we had a great race with last time out, we're now going to go side by side with him up the first of the straights, up into the next corner. I forgot the corner name, forgive me. Up the back of Van Dorn, but we've got the move on Alex Lynn done, so we have made up every position that we could have possibly wanted to. P13 to P8, that's 5 positions on the opening lap, and the lap's not even finished yet, so we might be able to pick off Van Dorn, and I think that's Ricciardo in front of him, so we might be able to pick off one of them in the near future, hopefully this lap. But we've definitely made it into the point, as someone's broke their back, rear wing, or front wing rather, sorry, I can hear in the background. So it's all going off here on lap 1. It's an absolute chaotic display of carbon fibre wings, but do you really expect anything else from an F1 game from Codemasters? It usually ends up going like this. We're trying to stay with Van Dorn right now. We know he's a faster car, a much faster car. All the guys in front of us are front runner cars right now, so we're trying to keep with them, and hopefully they can pull us along away from the clutches of Lynn. And it looks like the field's already starting to get spread out a bit. As we come on to lap 2 then, we have extended that gap on Lynn, and there's been some form of incident as Van Dorn went very slow and is now going around around Ricciardo. Now we're going to go around Ricciardo around the outside, which turns to the inside for the S-bend. That's a beautiful move, if I do say so myself, on the young Aussie. So something must have happened. He must have got squeezed out by Vettel or something ahead, which caused the 2 McLarens to go very slowly and kind of just bunched everyone up together, and that's what gave us the opportunity to get past Ricciardo. So bad luck for Ricciardo. He's gone from what I think was 6th to 8th either way. And we're still with Van Dorn, and we're actually pulling a little bit on him thanks to the slipstream on this straight. He's not really got a slipstream off Fernando, because Fernando's up ahead attacking Vettel. Not entirely sure where Kimi Räikkönen is in all of this. He was supposed to have qualified quite high, but maybe he's been caught up in the first corner incident. But as you can see, Van Dorn thought about going around the outside of Fernando. It hasn't worked. The old wily fox of Fernando didn't let that happen, and that's give us the opportunity to go right up his inside into the final corner. We've managed to pull that one off. Quite a treat. We've managed to get right past Van Dorn then, and that is a one McLaren dealt with. And he's going to actually try and mount a counter-attack now. He'll go to the outside. He will try to hold it around the outside. He'll want his position back. It's a bit of an embarrassing situation to be in, trying to make a move on your teammate and being squeezed out like that. But we've managed to secure that. And Alex Lynn follows us through there, if you saw on your screen. And Ricciardo there trying to find a way past as well. But it's not going to happen for him on that occasion. Unlucky for Ricciardo. But up ahead you can see Fernando is desperately trying to get past Verstappen, is that now? So Sebastian Vettel's actually made a move on Max Verstappen and got himself up to P3. So great job from the Ferrari boy. Knows he needs a good result because the Scuderia is definitely struggling. Struggling in the qualifying, so they need to make up as many positions in the race as they can. So Vettel doing a great job for the Scuderia by getting past the young Dutchman, and he's already all over the back of Lewis Hamilton or Nico Rosberg. I can't quite see which one it is. But Fernando's actually going to mount an attack on Max Verstappen himself. He wants some of the limelight. He wants to follow Sebastian Vettel. Tries to go to the outside, you can see ahead, but not going to happen. Max Verstappen squeezes him out, which gives us an opportunity. We're going to look to the inside, but Fernando cuts us off, closes that door, so he does very well to park his car on the apex there. We're going to maybe think about one on the inside, think better of it, and just try get his slipstream all the way down this this back straight, and hopefully that will be able to pull us along. If anything, we might be able to get DRS. I think DRS might be enabled. We thought about moving to the final corner, but didn't have enough room to make that move like we did on Van Dorn the first time. So we're in Alonso's slipstream, and it is DRS is confirmed as available. So we're going to use a bit of that, a bit of ERS, and just raw Ferrari versus Honda power going into the first corner. And we sneak one up the inside of Fernando and managed to squeeze him out there. So that's us up into P5. That was a very good move on a very experienced driver. So to pull that off was quite a job well done by us, as Max Verstappen up ahead is managed to pull a gap during all of that, which is exactly what he needed to do, but not what we want to see. So we're going to be chasing him down, and later on lap 4, as you can see, we are up the back of him in DRS zone 2, and we're going to try catch him here, but we're way too far back. But what we're going to try do is we're just going to try stay with him, stay with the whole back of that Red Bull, and try set us up. What we've been doing is setting drivers up on this back straight, getting a good run, and then either attacking them into the final corner or attacking them into turn 1. But it looks like we're going to be attacking Verstappen into the final corner, right up the out, and then dive down his inside, and we make a Max Verstappen move on Max Verstappen. A little harsh, we push him off the circuit, but he could have kept going, he chose not to. But if I'm being honest, I think we gave everything we needed to give to Verstappen there. I don't think Max would have shown us much more respect on the track, so I'm not going to feel too bad about that one. That's us up into P4, and the next driver on our hit list then is Sebastian Vettel, but it's not going to happen because you can see, as I talked about before the race started, the tyre wear is looking pretty damn bad just after 6 laps only, and our tyres are absolutely cooked. So into the pits we come then, not really battling anyone. There's a few drivers in the pits with us, around us, but it's not really going to, you know, we're not really fighting anyone in terms of our pit stops. So we've got out quite well. We're in between Vettel, who we were chasing down, and Van Dorn, who looks like he may have made a move on Fernando to get that position, or Fernando has continued on, and I'm beginning to think it might be the latter. So Fernando looking to carry his stint on for an extra few laps, target plus whatever for Fernando. That's what he's trying to do, and we are now trying our best to catch Sebastian Vettel as we come by a whole bunch of cars, including our teammate made their pit stops on lap 7 then. So that's us through on those guys up into turn 1. And yeah, we've got a load of guys, and we're up into P4, so we are back where we were before the pit stop shuffles began on this occasion. So Vettel is fighting. I think that he is fighting with a Silver Hour. He's fighting with a Mercedes. So what we're going to try do is try hopefully have them two battle, and that will, you know, kind of cause us to catch them. And Vettel's made a move on Rosberg now, so that's interesting to see. Ferrari really taking it to Mercedes this race. Vettel really wanting to get some good moves, but you can see in the background Van Dorn has got an amazing drive out of the final corner. He's up the back of us getting a face full of sparks, but he is going to throw that McLaren Honda up the inside of us. Ricciardo will try to follow him through, but it's not going to happen on this occasion. We're going to cut the Aussie off. And Van Dorn has managed to sneak one up our inside. Caught us kind of napping there, but what we're going to do is we're going to try and use all the RS power, and we're just going to dive bomb him into the next corner. We've got the soft tyres, so we've got the extra grip, and what we don't need is a guy on medium tyres getting in front of us, because that will harm our strategy quite severely if a guy's got our track position and is able to go for longer. But nevertheless, it's time for another pit stop. Only 4 laps we managed to get out of these soft tyres, so the tyre degradation seems to be getting worse as the race is going on. Obviously the track's getting hotter, it's getting more rubbered in, but I'm quite shocked at how poor the soft tyres are. So it's time for a bit of medium tyre. I think we were racing Alex Lynn into the pits there, but I think he's getting a front wing change because he knocked part of his front wing earlier on in the race, as Pierre Gasly now goes past us after the pit stop, and our teammates very close. Ed, despite this being one of the hottest places in the world, every time we came out of the pits, we had ice cold tyres, and it literally, trying to get them through the first 2 corners, it was like mission impossible. So we're kind of hurting our own teammates' race right now. Marcus Ericsson in 10th is up the back of us, and we're kind of holding him up, but I can't afford to let him through because we got the brand new tyres, and if he holds us up, our undercut on the big boys is just going to go completely nulled, and the overcut will work massively, and we may even lose some positions. So it's lap 18 now. We get 18. We get 8 laps. Sorry, not 18. That'd be an amazing story to tell, wouldn't it? We get 8 laps out of these, but we're actually going to stay out. It was literally just a case of Pierre pitted, all the guys around us pitted. We were just kind of driving by ourselves. It did become very much a strategy game as a result of all the tyre wear that was going on, and I was quite shocked to see Fernando and Nico choose to pit. So I'm assuming this is their last stop, which would be 10 laps, say, on the medium tyre, which doesn't seem that unreasonable. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to extend my stint as much as I can until now lap 20, so I got another 2 laps out of them tyres. And what I was trying to do was guarantee that my tyres would get to the end and not fall off the cliff. So I wanted fresh tyres to the end. And although they undercutted us massively, the idea now is that in like the final 5 laps, their tyres are going to be reaching the knife edge. They're going to be reaching the cliff, and we will be able to catch them. And as it comes into play, Daniel Ricciardo obviously on an alternate strategy to us. He got past us in the pits. So I'm not sure what his strategy is, but nevertheless, he's another driver that we will have to pass if we want to. We're aiming for 4th right now. I think that's where we've been for the majority of the Grand Prix, has been in 4th position. So we're with the Aussie now, the new Aussie grit after Mark Webber's retirement at the end of 2013. But nevertheless, he is going to be under severe pressure from us coming into the final corner. Think about going up the inside, but I don't want to risk the car. With the position we're in, these are very good points for Sauber. After only scoring 2 points, remember, in 2016, Sauber do very much need some good points, so I didn't want to risk a crash or anything. And we had a DRS coming up anyway, so he had no chance. Our tyres were in such a better condition, and we got so much more traction coming out of the final corner there that it was literally just a sitting duck down the pit straight. So we managed to get past him pretty easily, and I thought this was going to be the finishing positions now. It definitely looks like it with 7 laps to go. Doesn't seem like there's any pit stops in sight, so we would just drive to the end, and that would be the whole idea. 6 laps to go now, coming onto a start-finish straight. You can see the massive gap we're pulling on Ricciardo as a result of the tyres. And then I see a car in the pit, and then I see another car in the pit. There's 2 cars in the pits. One of them was lapped, but one of them was Fernando Alonso. So for whatever reason, I don't know if they opted with a different strategy to us or something, but for whatever reason, they only got 6 or something laps out of the tyres instead of the 10 they were aiming for. So we managed to get past Fernando Alonso, and Van Dorn's got past him. Stoffel Van Dorn's got past him as well. So for whatever reason, Fernando Alonso couldn't get his tyres to the end. And here we are coming up on the back of a Manor, Jordan King. But the main reason I'm showing you this clip is because Nico Rosberg is now in the lead, despite Hamilton, for the majority of this Grand Prix, has been at least 30 seconds ahead. He's just walked away with it, which means Hamilton pitted. And now Nico Rosberg, you can see directly ahead of us, has just come out the pits himself. So all the big boys were unable to make that strategy to the end work, and we have suddenly found ourselves sitting inside of a podium position. So this is very exciting news for us. Our first podium in Formula 1 is staring us in the face, and the pressure that comes along with it for sure is going to be something to look out for. As you can see, the tyres are starting to let go, but we've only got 3 laps to go. I think I could get these to the end quite easily. But Fernando Alonso is now the car behind us, and you can imagine he has different ideas. Fernando wants that first podium from McLaren Honda after being robbed from a mechanical failure in Suzuka, which robbed him of a potential race victory, let alone a podium. He's out for blood, and he wants his podium in Bahrain. He wants to get that one in the bag before it gets away from him again. So Fernando Alonso is all at the back of us. He'll try and attack into this corner, but he's just a little bit too far back to pull it off at all. So we managed to hold off the first of Fernando's attacks, and Fernando has this lap and next lap, and in total he has 3 more DRS zone attacks to get by us here. And if that McLaren Honda's been saving fuel, you know, we're on the optimal limit. We haven't got a lot of fuel left. We're on the very, very knife edge of our fuel as well as our tyres. So a lap and a quarter, I would say, of defence is going to be a really hard one. So here comes Fernando's DRS attack. His second DRS attack will pull to the inside. He looks to the outside. We get him covered off on this occasion. Fernando not able to make a move around the outside stick. It was unable to come to, the fruits were unable to come to bear for Fernando on that one. So maybe his next opportunity could be attacking us. We've got to try get a good run out of this corner and run away, because what we've been doing is we've been attacking cars into the final corner and using the DRS to get away after we've made that move. We can't afford to do that. So we've got to run away and prevent Fernando from doing that, and he's got a lovely exit out of the final corner yet again. You can see him all in the mirrors. We get stuck on the curb on the outside there. Not sure what that was all about, but we're going to have to go to the inside again. Fernando trying to mount an attack our way around, all the way around the outside like Stoffel Van Dorn did. As said, he switched to the inside at the very end, but Fernando Alonso not able to do it. We hold off the Spaniard for one more attempt, but he gets around the outside. He gets the switch back. He gets a beautiful move on us there as a result of his superior traction. But now we're going to use whatever ERS we have left to throw one back up the inside. We both want this podium so much. This is my first podium in Formula 1. This is Fernando's first podium since joining McLaren again. And what a battle of wills this is. We're both as stubborn as each other. We both want this podium absolutely desperately. But the crucial thing here is Fernando's got amazing tyres. His tyres only lasted until about lap 24, so his tyres are barely 5 laps old. Whereas ours are quite considerably older than 9 laps old now, and reaching the cliff fast. And here goes Alonso with his final DRS attack, and the traction he gets out of that corner is just immense. There's nothing we can do about it. We tried to dive bomb him here, but look, the tyres just don't allow us to do it, and that's it, I'm afraid. Fernando has got his podium. The wily old fox wanted that a lot more than I could have offered to defend it with the situation I was in with the tyres and such. I thought it was Van Dorn behind me as well. I was very panicky that I was going to get swiped by both the McLarens, but it turned out to be Jordan King, who we lapped earlier on. So even the Manor is pulling back on us as the condition of the tyres right now. But either way, I think it paid off the strategy. We were able to get 4th, which we aimed for, and that is our best result of the season. So 4th is a pretty good result for me. So let's go take a look at the full race results of that Grand Prix. Then Lewis Hamilton, in the end, gets one over Nico Rosberg this time out, takes the win by an impressive 14 seconds, finishes 47 minutes dead, sorry. It was how long that race lasted. apart from that stubborn 7,000ths of a second. And Fernando obviously beat us out to get that podium in the end. There's nothing we could really do about it. We tried our best, but the tyres weren't there for us. Stoffel van Dorn missed consistency, gets 2 5th place in a row, which will take him up to about 20 points in the championship. Alex Lynn finally gets the points he deserves after us managing to snatch it from him. In a way, Fernando did that to us, so maybe it was karma, but we managed to snatch that 1 single point off Alex Lynn at Suzuka. If you remember, he finishes just 7/10 of a second ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel down there. So Sebastian, his strategy went down the toilet in the end, didn't it? I don't know if he lost the front wing or something, but for whatever reason, he went from in second down to 8th. So a miserable day for the Scuderia in terms of the Vettel garage. Max Verstappen having another bad day in the office, of course, finishing down in 9th, picking up just 2 points. And Valtteri Bottas getting his first points of the season. And as always, Nico Hulkenberg, Mr. Almost, just misses out on the points there. So as we move to the second page, you can see straight off the bat, Kimi Raikkonen 8th to 16th. And I did say earlier in the race that I think he was involved in some kind of incident into turn 1, so I'm not sure what happened there, unfortunately for him. So a miserable day for Ferrari, and they've really got to get their act together if they, they want to challenge for the championship this year. So with that being said, let's go and have a look at the Bahrain driver standings after this fascinating Grand Prix. So Nico Rosberg manages to hold out and secure 3 points over Lewis Hamilton to continue his lead, his title defence intact by just 3 points now, but they've got an absolutely immense gap to Daniel Ricciardo. Sorry, I choked on my words there. That's just how amazing that Grand Prix was. It's making me trip up on my own words. Stoffel van Dorn gets up overtakes Max Verstappen into 4th, and so does Fernando Alonso by just a point, but just 2 points separating me from Fernando, and then a point from me to Verstappen, and then just a point from me to Vettel. So it's getting very, very, very close there. And as you can see, Valtteri Bottas on the second page gets his first point of the season, and we can kind of see what's going on down there. The latter yet to score any points. So we go to the constructor standing, and as we look then immediately you can see that Mercedes are pulling a big gap on Red Bull, 83 points in comparison to 38. Red Bull getting in a tussle with McLaren very early on, despite being the favourites to challenge Mercedes. So Mercedes have got an absolute dream start. The complete opposite, however, for Ferrari, who are having a nightmare start with just 16 points and only just ahead of the Sauber Ferrari customer team. So that's pretty embarrassing for the Scuderia. And next up it's Williams then, with their 7 points thanks to Valtteri Bottas' single point and Alex Lynn's 6 points, which puts them just a single point ahead then of Toro Rosso, who are ahead of Force India, who are the last of the point scorers. Renault, Manor, Haas, all promising big upgrades for round 4 at the Spanish Grand Prix, but they are yet to score a point in this championship. So that was the Bahrain Grand Prix, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm really looking forward to when those teams do bring the upgrades to Spain, but before that we have one more race before the upgrades come for them, and that is round 3, and I will see you there at round 3 for the Australian Grand Prix at Melbourne. So thank you ever so much for watching, guys. Until then, take it easy. Bye bye. Never gonna give you up.
Oh, keep.
Bruh.
To keep.
You're supposed to fucking sing along.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Bruh.
Bruh. Bruh.
Bruh.
How do you not know?
You know, I don't know
Really?
the lyrics of the song.
Re-
Really. Like,
Re-
like, totally really.